do we want to talk about John M. Chu not getting the directing nod for this?
Yes. Well, let's talk about that. Definitely. That's the biggest snubs, right? Now that you mentioned John M. Chu, why? Like, what the heck, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Have you read anything about the rationale?
Why?
Could it be because there's a part two coming up? So maybe if you're an Oscar voter, that you sort of cast a wider net to give many awards to many different people. Maybe they're thinking that John has another shot next year when his the second part of Wicked comes out. I don't know. So
Yeah, that's interesting thought. I don't know, I mean, me myself, kind of like where I work, we keep track of like Asian Americans in entertainment. I don't know what the if people know John M. Chu like a household name, because we all know he came out with Crazy Rich Asians as like the big thing that put him on the map. I know he's been around for a while. He's done music videos for like Justin Bieber and stuff like that, but like I think I don't know how big Crazy Rich Asians was to everyone who was not Asian. So I don't
yeah.
know if it's one of those cases where it's like, oh, John M. Chu, it's a new name to me. I know
Mm,
he's done a few things between Crazy Rich Asians and this, but obviously I think those are the two big landmarks of his career, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's also that thing of when a movie is so big, like Dune, because
Mm,
that's another person who people say should have got nominated was Denis
mm,
Villeneuve, and I don't know if it's that thing of like when it's a big blockbuster movie, it's kind of
yeah.
like
It almost becomes a
the
negative factor from a nominations perspective, you know.
sometimes something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Could be
But
a few
it's
things.
weird because from an acting perspective, I mean, the two leads are nominated. We got Cynthia Erivo and also Ariana, and also the movie itself is
Yeah.
nominated. But I don't know if it's gonna win though. I mean, I love Wicked. I mean, it's definitely one of my favorites from last year, but I don't know if it's gonna win. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's also a tough uh, competition, for the best picture category. So yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, John M. Chu, I was sad about it. I just don't know, like if he was nominated. This is gonna be a tough question, and I don't know if like who would you like if you would put John M. Chu as a nominee, who would he replace? Right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's tough when I haven't seen some of these other films, but
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good answer, Charles.
yeah, but you know what? I will say I think you were onto something when you said it might be because there's this part two, because maybe some people were thinking, you know what? Let's nominate John next year after
Yeah.
both have come out, because maybe what if the second one is not as good? So
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe that could be a factor.
Yeah. They are banking on it that it's gonna continue the trajectory of it being a good film, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
To me, when it comes to that, I'm thinking about the Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
You got it was only in part three, I think, that the film finally won.
Mm,
So maybe they
yeah.
waited for that. Although I think the other two films, I mean, the first one was pretty good in my opinion, but we're hopefully John M. Chu will get his flowers, so
Hmm.
for
Yeah.
next year.